Hola, hola, mi gente. Welcome back to Art, Animism, and the Astros. It's your girl Panchita, and we're looking at the energy, doing a little collective read for the week of October 13th. As you can tell, I'm no longer outside. We had a nor'easter come through this weekend, and I think, who knows, maybe I could be wrong, but I think the time of filming outside, of exercising outside, for now, has come to a close. The wind and the rain has really come through. A lot of the leaves are gone. The leaves that are here are changing, and it's very much nature showing that time is moving on. Things are transforming, which is absolutely beautiful and the way that it should be. In line with our usual routine, though, I did just finish a nice little yoga flow, kind of getting in the overall zone. And I'm enjoying filming these in kind of a state of imperfection. I'm not done at all. I'm a little sweaty. I have my dog bite and my cat scratch on me, all done in good fun with my animals. I'm kind of liking coming in this just natural state, this come as you are, to this overall collective read. I hope that everybody has had a good start to the read. I'm filming this on Tuesday, October 14th, and looking at the energy of this week, it's a really beautiful balance between the inner planet, especially of Venus, corresponding with the outer planets, all the outer planets from Saturn all the way through to Pluto. And what that means is most likely the circumstances that are taking place in our immediate life with our closest committed relationships and the larger groups of friends, of community that we're in, are likely mirroring what is going on in the collective scale. Maybe it might not be in a super obvious way, but most likely similar themes will be kind of making their way through. We're in Libra season, which is a sign that is all about the relationships, all about the other, all about finding balance and equilibrium, making sure that all of us are living a life of fairness, of equality, of justice. That if I am, or if you are lacking, that I am seeing what I can do, and vice versa. And this sign is ruled by Venus. And our week kicked off yesterday with Venus moving into her home sign of Libra. All the astrological signs have planets that are at home within the sign. We say that they're in their domicile. There are also planets that do very well in certain signs, and we call that exalted. But Venus is in her domicile. She is at home in Libra. She's feeling good. And so there is a big emphasis right off at the kick of the week to be with our friends, be with our closest loved ones, to indulge in some creativity, some art making, some fine aesthetics, some self care. But again, there is this flavor of making sure that it is all equal, and not just equal in making sure that we all have an equal amount. We're sharing our resources, but also making sure that there is equal give and take. There is equal power on each side. I would say there's also an equal amount of health. I think there are themes of kind of mental health present at the moment. We have a lot of movement going on in air signs because Libra is an air sign, and she happens to trine both the outer planet Uranus in Gemini and the outer planet Pluto over in Aquarius, also air signs. So there's a lot of mental kind of gymnastics going on at this time in our relationships. We're not only thinking new things about ourselves and the other as we are in these moments of community, but we may also be realizing that someone's mindset is slightly different than ours. And how do we work together through that? How do we also let something go if something is just a bit too unhealthy and too out of bounds for our capability? So kind of interesting energy at the moment. Again, we're looking at how our immediate relationships, our immediate friend groups and community groups are also mirroring what is taking place currently in the larger scale. I was thrilled last week after filming to hear the news that a ceasefire had been reached in Gaza. And quite literally just this morning, I learned that despite the ceasefire, Israel is also attacking Palestinians that have returned to the rubble of Gaza. I can't even imagine returning to a home and wanting to rebuild and starting those initial processes of actually cleaning up literal rubble and destruction, and then immediately having an attack again. And obviously, it's a very extreme situation, a very delicate situation. I don't bring any of this up lightly. And while that type of extreme situation may not be exactly what's going on in your immediate world, I pray that it's not. I don't wish that upon anyone. There are themes at play here when it comes to power, when it comes to trickery, when it comes to not having the full story, when it comes to things that are kind of lying underneath. With Venus's trine to Pluto, Venus in Libra, trine Pluto over in Aquarius, it's all about elements of power. But the trine is supportive. Certain things are taking place to support us in the long haul. The outer planets play a very long game, looking at a full entire story that takes place for Pluto over the course of 20 years. So really looking at circumstances that are taking place right now, the way we're acting, the way we're facing them, the way we're moving, what we are cutting out, what we are keeping, what we are cultivating, what we are shedding, and how it will affect us as we progress forward. I certainly hope that this is making sense. It'd be great if it wasn't resonating, but I feel like for a lot of us, we are having those kind of wake up moments of, wait a second, this doesn't feel 100% right. What don't I know fully here? Of course, we can apply that to the inner workings that are going on within the country of the United States, where I live, maybe in the place that you live, maybe in the communities, maybe in your job, maybe in your friendships, maybe in your close familial relationships. There just could be some things that we want to have a more discerning eye with right now. And again, we're thinking about this. We're mentally getting very strategic about this. On Thursday, we have a really beneficial signature where the sun in Libra, ruled by Venus, is making a square, so a little bit of friction to Jupiter over in Cancer. So this could come in the form of really good news that also really builds us up, that really fortifies us, that is a confidence booster in this time of a bit of, I'm feeling good in my friendships, I'm feeling good in my community, but there's also this thing there. This bit of good news that could come on Thursday from this signature could be really helpful. And by the end of the week, we go back to a little bit of those underpinnings, that underworking with Mercury and Mars being together in the constellation of Scorpio, so right next door to Libra. These two are conjunct, meaning they're 1 degree apart in the sky, in the constellation of Scorpio. And this really speaks again to kind of what's going on under the surface, and definitely getting smart with strategy. How do we strategize? Mars happens to be in its domicile in Scorpio. So Mars is one of the traditional rulers of Scorpio, and Pluto is the modern ruler. And Mars is very much focused in Scorpio, very driven. And Mercury is our thought, is our communication. So when you combine thought with drive, with action in this sign that is very strategic, you really get kind of the warrior that is working out the battle plans. You really get also energy that could be really smart in facing a verbal battle. Maybe an argument is going on. Again, Mars and Mercury, very close to the sun, are personal planets. So for us, this very likely could be working out personally, again, as well as on the collective scale. For my millennials, we all have the signature of Pluto in Scorpio. So as Mars and Mercury are here, it is firing that up in a collective scale. it's firing that up in our birth chart as well. And I think that's where we really see what's going on also out in the world. So again, there is this mirroring type of energy, which is what Libra is all about, balancing those scales, balancing the close relations with the larger community in the overall world, the global community. So very fascinating energy. I definitely encourage to just don't get overwhelmed whatsoever, but keep an eye on what's going on in the collective and understand what you are feeling, what you are thinking about it, and how it may also teach you lessons when it comes to what is going on in your immediate world, your immediate community, kind of how you are moving in your closest collaborations. I think this week could also see some clarity when it does come to ending certain relationships. And this doesn't have to be on an extremely close scale, but maybe it's an ending, whether it be natural or something that is forced, an ending to maybe a class you're taking, an activity that you're doing with a large group of people, and maybe a project that you're working on in order to make room to be doing the things that really fill up your cup, that you really enjoy, that put you in line with other people in your collective that have the same thoughts that you do, that are more supportive, that aren't speaking maybe negative things against you, but are also building you up. It's a very interesting energy. And it's, again, really about being strategic, really being about discerning, understanding if there's any kind of underworkings going on at the moment, especially with the week ending with that Mars and Mercury conjunction in Scorpio. So very interesting. I'm curious to see kind of how it pans out. And of course, really sending love, light, safety all around to the collective. Just really imagining the world safe, secure, cozy. And for those of us that are safe, secure, and cozy in our homes, that have a warm bed, that have wonderful shelter, may we always remember to be grateful and always send that energy out to the collective. All right. So I have one card, front, back. First card that we have, oh wow, is the Seven of Pentacles. So a little way down by the world right now. We can see that with our image here. Fascinating. It's a lot of Venus in Virgo energy, which is what we just came out of. So and especially when we're talking about Earth energy, Virgo is an Earth sign, kind of coming out of that, what we just went through over the last month. Little heavy, definitely we're taking step by step, but we're not seeing the progress that we would like to see yet. Seven of Pentacles. The next card that we have is the inverted Four of Cups. Thinking about overall structure and stability in our closest relationships, with our emotions, maintaining balance. The inverted Four of Cups shows that there is a bit off in the regard of balance right now in our closest relationships. And the final card that we have is the Page of Wands. I love this card. Again, when a card is inverted, we really look at the full meaning of it. And this is about expanding into new opportunities. The Page is the messenger. The Page is youthful. It sees things from a very youthful perspective, and it brings new news. The Page also does connect to Mercury, and we do have a lot of that Mars kind of color scheme in this as well. So that occurrence of heat of Mercury and Mars together in Scorpio on Sunday could be bringing in new news. Again, even this hard stuff, it's for our benefit as we move forward. It helps us greet new opportunities. It's fascinating because with these three cards, I have earth, I have water, and I have fire. I don't have any air, which is, of course, the sign that we're currently in. But it doesn't mean that it isn't present, that we're not definitely in our head, maybe going over all of the different variables that are taking place right now. There is a looking back at how especially we moved through the last month, in our relationships, in our efforts, in our kind of creative projects as well that we may have been working on. And it might feel like we're rolling the rock up the hill and we haven't seen the payoff just yet. It may be an overall heavier energy. But focus is really what these two cards are about. That's right. I pulled this way. Very much finding overall focus. The Four of Cups speaks to kind of retreating, maybe from the outward activities that are going on at the moment, even though there is a lot of Astro energy that is great for getting together with people. Maybe for you personally, it's better to conserve that energy, to go within and kind of see how you feel right now. Get in touch with your emotions and what they're trying to tell you, especially in regard to relationships, and finding overall focus in your pursuits of what you want progressing forward. This Page of Wands is very much about expanding into these new and incredible opportunities. New news is coming in, but you may need to kind of clear the land first. You may need to kind of clear room, make room in order to be able to really expand into those opportunities. And there may be a lot that's going on right now. There's definitely a lot going on. Again, there's the collective energy mixed with what's going on in our personal life as the sisters, or as the siblings, the children, the employees, the parents, the teachers that we are, all the different roles that we hold, and it might be all just getting muddled at the moment. So it is a good time to kind of look at the last month, look at what was a result of all of the work that came, to really get focused about how you progress forward and move into these new opportunities, to get strategic, especially as we get close to Sunday, and to really assess the relationships that we're in, where we're giving energy, where we're having our cups filled, and where we're giving energy and it feels like we're being overall depleted. Kind of an interesting pull. This one, even though this is a kind of a heavier, like I feel that energy, the colors are, I mean, if you can't tell, these are some of my favorite colors. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven, number extremely spiritual, extremely connected to something else, an energy of moving forward, moving towards our goals. Four really is connecting us to our root, the ground beneath us. And ultimately, we are getting back to number two when we add 7 and 4 together. Be on the lookout for sevens, be on the lookout for fours, and also be on the lookout for the number 2. Number 2 is really all about the other. So it goes right back to that theme of what we're talking about. We're really understanding the balancing of the scales, the balancing of fairness, equality, justice for us in our personal life with our personal, very close committed relationships, but very much also on the larger global scale as well. So this is your reading for the week of October 13th to October 19th. I hope it has been helpful, and I will see you next week for another one, Art, Animism, and the Astros. Adios.